Record. Share screen. Again. Let me know if you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Thanks, Irene. Awesome. Lynn, please make sure you're helping me with the guys coming in case. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Great. So yes, welcome again. Good morning. If you're in Nairobi, I know it's very cold. If you're not in Nairobi, we will find out where you are in a few minutes, right after I introduce what the training is about and what to expect from this session. At some point in this session, we might use your browser for the Mentimeter. So just make sure you can be able to access your browser, but in case not, we'll patiently wait for you to be able to access it just for a small bonding exercise. As I share my screen, I won't be able to see the Zoom chat. So I'll rely on my colleague Lynn, just in case there's any questions and stuff. In case you're not speaking or your fellow is speaking, please make sure you're muted so that we can be able to hear each other and have a fruitful training. As I said below, we have interpretation that's available, so please ensure that you've picked your selected language, so if it's French or English, so you can follow along adequately. Great. So welcome to the Africa VUCA Skill Ups Cohort 2. We had the first cohort last year from June to August. And this year we're starting this cohort from the 10th July, which is today, to the 18th of September. So this is a 6-part series, and it will happen every 2 weeks, just to give you time to absorb the material so you can move on along and be able to have a fruitful uptake of this training. At the end of this training, you will receive a certificate once you've participated in all the sessions. Great. So as you know, although myself, Lynn, and other colleagues in the core are from 350 Africa, we host a network called Africa VUCA, which is our mobilizing, organizing, and recruitment network. Africa, obviously you know what the meaning of that is, but VUCA means cross in Swahili and rise up in isiZulu. So Africa VUCA is a call out to all Africans to wake up, rise up, and lead the just transition to renewable energy. So before we begin, just make sure you save this in your mind. If you're not part of the Africa VUCA network or you have yet to register your group to the Africa VUCA network, please make sure you go to the africavuca.org and click join the network to submit your information. This can happen at the end of the training because it will take you around 5 minutes to fill it because it's a form. So maybe giving you a preview of what the agenda will be like for today. So I'll take you through what Africa VUCA is and the skill ups. Then we'll speak about the different decentralized renewable energy campaigns that are in the network and in the continent that we are linked to. We will also have a representative from Ghana talking about the pioneer case study on community-led renewable energy and the work they do in Ghana. This will be led by Mrs. Koshadu Mensah in a few minutes. And then we'll have space to just give any info or questions to the space. And then lastly, we'll talk about next steps. Requesting to mute if you're not speaking, but I will mute you now. 1 second. I'm trying to see if Lutz's here. Oh, yes, she is. Great. I'm trying to make Lut co-host, but I'm unable to. This is fine. Cool. So, like I said, so this is a 6-part training series. A certificate is awarded at the end of the 6 sessions. But in case of any internet issues, which we understand sometimes, whether there is slow internet or you're unable to follow along, you can email me or reach out to me and we will share the recordings of sessions missed. But after every session at the end of the day, we will share the recording and any different materials or links or slides that were seen in this call, so you can be able to follow along at your own time as well. So what's in the menu for us? So for July 10th, we'll be talking about why community-led. This will mainly think about, why a community-led project is needed in your community and, get inspiration from those who've already done it. Secondly, in July 24th, we'll have a discussion around what are my community gaps, like what's missing in my community and what can the project I want to work on kind of address. On August 7th, we'll talk about making a plan, accessing how easy to do action plan, which we created. That's an easy to feel one that we can guide you through it and help you get closer to your implementation journey. Then on August 21st, we'll talk about what are the obstacles in implementation? What is preventing me from implementing my project and how can I successfully tackle those obstacles? Step 4 and step 5, which is September 4th and the September 18th, will be a series around Tell Your Story. So we'll have a session around stories of an impact. How can your story in your region become a tool for advocacy? And then finally, we'll have a discussion around digital campaigning and the power of it, right? And looking at that powerhouse and how do we really use digital and why should we even consider digital in the campaigns and works that we're trying to do. I'll wait a second here just to check in case there's things on the Zoom chat that I'm yet to see. Good. Seeing a question about my email, we'll share this, no worries. And I have all your emails in case you registered. So I'll just email all of you at the end of the session and contact you to some of my colleagues, Lou, Clean, and others, as well as Christian. So yeah, so we're here to speak about decentralized renewable energy, organizing in Africa. And I'm sure you are keen to understand, like, what does that look like? But before we do that, let's know who's in the room. So in this space, I will ask you to go to your browser and go to menti.com. So on your browser, go to menti.com as I set up the next slide. One second. Thanks, Lute. I was wondering why I was struggling to add your co-host. Thanks. Great. Let me know if you're there already. So you should go to menti.com on your browser. And then they'll ask you for a code. So enter 79448446. I can put it in the Zoom chat. Great. So yeah, where are you joining us from today? I like how everyone's already in there and showing us where they're from. If you're struggling, let me know. A lot of people from Nairobi. Ghana. Hey, welcome, Ghana.
Hi, Rukia.
Hello.
Hello, Rukia.
Yes, Stella.
Yeah, so you mentioned a code earlier, I was struggling. So what was it?
Put menti.com on your browser and
Yeah,
then enter
I
the code.
enter the code now.
7944. It's on the screen at the top completely here.
Okay,
7944
okay.
8446. Are you able to enter it now?
Yeah, I am.
Perfect. Awesome.
Where? Okay. Okay. So, okay. Let me say Nigeria.
Thanks, Stella. Oh. Is it only Nigeria and Ghana, Nairobi and Ghana that's in the house? A lot of people from Nairobi. Benjamin is from Johannesburg. I'm seeing that on the Zoom chat. Bloemfontein. Saying Uganda. This is cool. Uganda Kasese. I'm seeing guys from Egypt. Welcome.
Good.
Nigeria is here as well. Great. I'm seeing only 11 of us have participated, which is okay as well. In case you're struggling, just let us know. And if you're struggling, you can always use the Zoom chat as well, if that's easier for you to use. There's friends from Tanzania. Welcome, Tanzania. Welcome again, South Africa. I'm noticing a lot of Francophones here. Welcome, Kisumu. Crispin from DRC. Are you able to use the link or have you logged off? Yes, I'm seeing Eric on the Zoom chat from DRC. Welcome, welcome. Great. So let's move to the next part. If this training on community-led renewable energy is a journey, where do you feel your story is at? Where are you starting from? Are you just beginning? You're curious and excited? Are you taking a few steps? You've taken a few steps in this journey, like you're aware of what decentralized renewable energy looks like. Have you walked this road a bit, like you've been in it? Or are you just here to just deepen your understanding? You've done the training before, but you just really want to just deepen your understanding of this training and session. I'm seeing a lot of interesting mixes between 1, 2, and 1 and 2. Oh, nice. I'm seeing a mix, a very healthy mix of the 4. This is nice and brilliant. I've taken a few steps, which is good. I've walked this road a bit, it's taking lead. And I've taken a few steps, it's taking lead as well. I like the ones who are here to just deepen or refine what they've known. This is good. I'll give it a few more minutes as well, just to, in case you're able to use Mentimeter, you can just put on the chat 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on your preference. Right. I'll give it a few more minutes. A lot of people here to deepen, people who've taken a few steps, a bit, and a couple of people who are just curious and excited to know more about this work. Good. This is a healthy mix. Thank you for your contributions. Just a few more seconds. If you're unable to access the menti.com link, you can just put on the Zoom chat 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on what your answer is. For my Francophone comrades, the first one is I'm here to deepen or refine what I already know. I've taken a few steps. Just beginning, curious and excited. I've walked this road a bit. Right. Thank you, Ladislas. Awesome. So lastly, just to take us to the next part of the session, which is the part that you're here for, is, as you've seen, many of us here have some experience on community-led renewable energy and already have some insights on what that looks like from the different communities that they're part of. So just maybe the question to you is, what does decentralized renewable energy look like or feel like to you? It can be a one word, it can be a sentence, whatever makes sense to you. Welcome for Selemela. No worries. We're just doing a Mentimeter, so just go to menti.com and you'll be able to submit. So right now we're talking about what does decentralized renewable energy look like to you? Another call out for friends from the Francophone region, DRC, West Africa, Togo, Benin. In case you're here, feel free to write it down in Francophone as well, in French. That totally works. I love the submissions on the Zoom chat and accessible and affordable, green future, engage local solutions, people and environmental centered. It's just renewable energy solutions led, benefiting communities at the local level. On the Zoom chat, there's energy justice for rural communities. It's community power. It's community owned and controlled. It's community centered and owned. Guaranteed this one, Kiki, you'll have to tell me what this one is, the last one. For us. And it means, oh, I'm in French. Sorry, let me switch. Oh, okay, get it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Great. And economically affordable, I love that. Benefiting all. It's energy solutions that are inclusive of its own people, planet and friendly. The planet friendly, this is cool. Having people from different communities coming together for a common problem and having solutions. I love that submission. Renewable energy control by different stakeholders. I love it. Great. I'll wait a few seconds just in case anyone else wants to put a submission, either on the Zoom chat or on menti.com. Renewable energy for the underserved communities, access to renewable energy at all levels and must be affordable. Great. So maybe to put this all together, I think we just created the criteria when we think about decentralized renewable energy. And the criteria are what you've submitted here. It should be affordable. It should be people-centered and community-owned. It should rely on different stakeholders and take, consultation from different stakeholders to understand the different impacts of that energy. It should have justice in it. It should have a future outlook to it, right? I like how there's an element of community ownership and control, which is really cool as well. I like how it's engaging local solutions. So it's not creating new problems or it's a foreign technology coming into your space, but it really relies on community-led and local solutions when you're looking at what energy really works. So not creating a problem where there was none, but actually looking at what is the solution that's needed for that local context that you're working in. And that's the beauty of the space, all of us have some level of wisdom around this work. And that's why this training is mainly to just give you insight on how what you already know can transform into actual plans and a possible project from your community and yourself that you can lead and take forward. So thank you all for engaging me on the Mentimeter. We'll go back to our slides for now. And let me know in case I'm too fast or you need me to slow down. And in case you're struggling, just let us know. And my colleagues are here and we will support. Great. So with that, before I let Portia in, I'll just go quickly and talk about the different DRE work that's in the region. So, like we said, it's locally led, it's focused on communities, it prioritizes communities, it has local solutions in mind, it looks at different stakeholders, not only energy stakeholders, but also looks at people in food or people in water and etc., and how those different pieces interact with each other. So as Africa VUCA, we've had the privilege of hosting some epic community groups that are doing amazing work on decentralized renewable energy. So we have the work by the Renewable Energy for Communities Coalition, which is pioneered in Ghana. This was the initial group that started working on this before most groups even started thinking about solutions work. And you'll hear about their journey in the next few minutes. Energy Coalition accord state other region I know this space. And the sorry. Hello, apologies. I got logged out for a second. Safaricom doesn't like me much. But can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Yes. I don't know where I lost you, but I assume I was here at Solar for Communities, right? Yes. Cool. So there's a work in Nigeria around solar for communities, which targets communities affected by coal and oil in different states in Nigeria. And they also ran a Vote for Climate Nigeria coalition that works on the elections and climate justice. Then finally, obviously, you have the Repair Africa campaign that most of you were part of during the Africa VUCA Day this year. And this at the moment is a pilot that's in Tanzania and Uganda, but the coverage of the messaging and the work is continental. Great. So before I move on, I'm seeing there's a hand up by Mashile. Is that a question?
Yes, not really. What I want to say is that I think as part of the groups for renewable energy, and I think we need to come with a very innovative idea. You know, one of the things is that I was anti-nuclear person coordinator in South Africa a long time ago. And the question which we got from the nuclear people, the scientists, they were saying that renewable energy, which you mentioned, like solar and wind power, they cannot even move a train. They cannot even light a factory. So you must, you know, they were criticizing us to say we are not really innovative enough. Currently is that we are on the plan to build what you call thermal engine power plants in South Africa. We just in a concept stage in our group here in Zanin. So, but the question is that we need where we can get incubation, and we are raising a lot of money for that purposes, and it can be commercialized. So one of the things is that we are really looking for your support to really get an incubation to streamline this idea to ensure that it's workable. So we need little money, which we can really start a unit on the matter. Thanks.
Thank you, Mashile, for your contribution. I think this training's purpose purely is around just how to work on what community-led renewable energy looks like. And yes, you know, when we look at people who are saying, oh, nuclear can power more, can power train, but the biggest energy users are the households. So does nuclear work for households? Or should we prioritize things that are household forward so that we can ease up the transition? Because for us to really push the transition as fast as we can, we need to work with which sectors use the most power and how can we like slowly but surely do the small things that we can do to get ahead in terms of, you know, how we can tap away from power that doesn't make sense to us. And I understand, trust me, those arguments are quite crucial. And I love that you guys are already working on different innovations on that. And hopefully throughout this training, we'll be able to, you know, support you to put up a work plan and link you up to different options for fundraising outside that are accessible for you. But yeah, thank you so much for that contribution, Mashile. Great. So with that, I would like to give space to one of our community groups and one of our biggest partners, which is 350 GROC and the RE4CC Coalition. So I'd like to welcome Mrs. Portia Adumensa, who will be talking about, you know, their journey on how they started from, you know, a small group that was in a space and wanted to, you know, push just transition work in Ghana and how that journey has changed over the past few years that they've been doing this work. So with that, I will take 1 second to share her screen. One moment. And Portia, once I shared, please feel free to just tell me next, as much as you can.
Good morning, greetings from Ghana. My name is Moshe and I'm happy to be here with you. Okay, I would love to share my screen from my side if it's okay. Hi everyone, please can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yes, now we can see it.
Thank you so much. So again, my name is Moshe Dumensa and I'm with 350 Ghana Reducing Our Carbon. I'm happy to give you the opportunity to share our journey with everyone. So in 2013, seven young Ghanaians were selected to meet 500 youth from 128 countries in Istanbul, Turkey, to attend the global power shifts. Unfortunately, that was 350.org. So after that training, we were expected to come into our individual countries and come up with a strategy that resonates with our countries, which of course now is called the NDCs in various countries, interestingly. So each country came up with a strategy that they can use in addressing climate change. And this really helped us to birth 350 Ghana Reducing Our Carbon. And I must say was a game changer for me because I also became I was trained as a climate activist, and I have never regretted taking that step because I was in the university then hoping to become a banker, But because of the issues on climate change and how I could impact communities, I thought it's wise to shift, and I never regretted taking this decision. Most of the people you see here are also in various organizations making their impact at different levels. So in 350 Ghana Reducing Our Carbon, we are a subsidiary of 350.org, and it's a formal network. You have to always be registered to be able to operate in your countries. So it is important for you to help yourself by starting in being registered to align with your regulations. So it's a formal network. It's made up of youth, and it's aimed at mobilizing and empowering young people. And it's important that as you are continuing this project or starting something, you have partners and key stakeholders that you actively work with to champion the need in what we reducing our carbon. That was our core mandate that we decided to do as 350 Ghana Reducing Our Carbon. And then we are still promoting renewable energy system as a key effort in combating climate change. I would want to just drop this in my submission because I mostly hear why the so we were told at Global Power Shift, as at then we had in 2008, there were some university students, which Bill was part of the group, and he wrote the first global warming book and published. So you can search out for that global warming book by Bill, and they birthed 350.org. By then, they were hoping that the the carbon concentration will not go beyond 350 parts per million as at 2008. So that's how come in 2013 they had the global power shift to sensitize for us to all push and help so that we don't get there. But unfortunately, as we sit here in 2025, we have gone beyond it, and we are at 428.45 parts per million. That's why we have the name 350. So when we came into Ghana in 2013, we started Coal Kills campaign because by then our country wanted to venture into into coal, because we were having a lot of issues with our power outages and other things. So the government thought the best way out is to start coal-fired plants. But interestingly, we were trained and we had the right training, and we had the right feedback to be able to encourage or speak to our community, our governments, on the fact that coal is not the way to go in solving our electricity crisis. So then this campaign really went a long way to help us make real-time case. We didn't end it there. So with the first place that government decided the coal was in Shama, which is in the central region of Ghana. What we do as a group or as a movement was to sensitize the community and make sure that they appreciate and understand why they should not allow a coal plant to be centered or to be operating in their community. So we were able to kick out and debunk the coal idea, which started in 2013. Fortunately for us, we heard again, because in Environmental Protection Agency, you need to publish your submission as part to find out if the countries or people in the country have something to say on what you want to do as a country. So there was a publication about the coal plants and why the Water River Authority have a good track record of the hydro. So they were using that as a rebate to say it's important for us to go coal and all of that. So they had another location after Shama debunked the coal-fired plants. Now, when that happened, we were on the lookout and we followed up that the next location was Ikunfi. So in this case, using the same strategy as Shama, was not going to really work in this regard, because they knew their tactics and they've already sensitized the chiefs on that. So what we did was we used the approach of renewable energy. If you are ready to give your land for any proper use, or you want to solve our electricity challenge, then we want to introduce to you renewable energy. And that is what helped us to engage 10 villages in Ekunfi, the chiefs, queen mothers, and the youth to stand up and make sure. And this is the location that you see our team standing. It was going to be sited by the shore, and then the fired plants will just be transported through that. And a lot was going to, because it's a fishing community, it's in the central region, and it was going to affect their livelihood. And because of how we were able to strategize, we had series of meetings with Volta River Authority on why they think we should allow them to enter this community. So we were with them at the community engagement, and we made sure we made a real case study for the people in their local dialect, and that helped us to have a success. So then, fortunately for us, in 2016, the government that intended to have the coal-fired plants could not retain its seat, and then we got a new government that was not interested in coal. And this helped us because we picked some strategies. So the strategies that we employed was lobbying, making sure that our message is clear, and making sure that communities understand, and making sure that at the government level, we're making real-time case study. It will interest you to know from the next slides how beautiful it is to be able to go through these steps in achieving such an amazing result. Remember, the time is ticking, and we need to choose renewable energy. So we made sure that we reviewed the government manifesto. We followed up on publications by the ministry, government. We're building the grassroots to own the project and own their own power. And we created allies in the schools, pushing for 100% renewable energy for schools. We were always attending festivals of the communities that we were pushing for them to appreciate renewable energy, to understand, because in Ghana especially, I don't know for other countries, during festivals you have everybody coming around. So we have a stand, we speak to people, and we try to explain to them that renewable energy is the way to go. We participated in RE programs at the national level, African Climate. We did amazing. We did a massive march, and we had a demand to action to our leaders. And it was amazing because we did it collectively with GEM and other NGOs in Ghana. And then media engagement, we always do series of media engagement, training the media so that they can have a clear cut. And that is what helped us to stop the establishment of coal in Ghana, because we had trained the media. And when they met the Minister of Energy at a very high level meeting, they were clear on the fact that we know coal has this effect, and why are you still trying to go coal? And that was what caught that was what solved the whole issue, because the minister came out categorically to say that no, it's harmful and we cannot go that way. And it really brought a big push to our campaign. And we don't do this in isolation because we are just in Ghana. Petition signing, making sure that everybody across can also be part of this topic that we are talking about in pushing for the agenda. So we had a petition that people were signing for. And then Twitter Storm is one of the strategies that we adopted too. We should remember that in working around a campaign, you need to have a stakeholder analysis. Who are your stakeholders? Be sure to identify your stakeholders. As you identify your stakeholders, know who participates in the project, who is interested in this project, who is affected. You list all of those people down, which processes are connected to the project. So it helps you to have a clear-cut strategy in addressing your campaign. So you have to display your relationship with all stakeholders. Is very key for every project, and outline, define all stakeholders, how they relate to the process internally and externally, degree and intensity, importance for each of the stakeholders. If you define, I think you have a very good way to solve the problem that you are seeking to address in your campaign. You need to compare the expectations, interest. Sometimes what you expect might change. The people that you trust might even unfortunately so unfortunately the people that you trust might even disappoint you. So you should be able to know the expectation. If it doesn't go this way, what are the next steps? Have a plan B in strategizing, because during the fight for the coal-fired plant, there was different strategies that we needed to employ to be able to get to the bottom of this. The objective interests of stakeholders, investment, influence, power, and attitude. You should expect either positive or negative. It's always not going to be a straitjacket for you, and you should deduce the future measures, insights, and analysis, and also possibly consequences. You need to plan these measures and communication. You should have one person that is speaking at every level and making sure that your team are ready and are part of the process in addressing the issue. So you need to develop an implementation strategy as well. Now, I told you we were having a big problem in our electricity issues, and then this was the lantern we're using then. So it was very crucial for government to do something about it, and that was the best option that they resonated to. But before that government won power, we made sure we went into their manifesto of all the people or the government or the policy people that were ready to take up the mantle of government in that time. So, they need to publish their manifesto that speaks into what they will be doing for you as a country. So, that document as young people, and as climate advocates, it's important for you to always review government manifesto. Send out, make demands for clarity. You write to government, this is what you stated in your manifesto about renewable energy, this is what we have identified, and we need answers to the strategy of how you will intend to achieve this. And once we send that, they would definitely respond to you. If they don't do, you have another plan B of getting into to get your answers. So we demand for clarity and intend to achieve the renewable energy target. You need to find out. And after reviewing their manifesto, it was clear that government didn't have any intent to go, and they had a clear path to achieve the 10% renewable energy. You should remember that every day your first point of call is they've signed the Paris Agreement, and they need to follow to that call. We don't always leave it at that level, because there are documents you can also be reviewing to make a good case. So we realized that the Renewable Energy Act had been lying down since 2011, and so we picked it as a group to go through it and also send our reviews to the Ministry of Energy Commission on our findings. They were a bit hesitant at the beginning, because they said they are still in the process of planning to review it. So why did we pick the document and we are now talking about it? And later, after 2 years, when they were ready, they still picked our document and used it as such. So these are some of the dynamics. These are the media engagement to be able to talk about the gaps, findings, and recommendations from our review conducted. So the message was always clear. Renewable energy is the future. And we created allies because we are on the Africa VUCA platform. We were able to use that platform to get action across Africa and learn from different people from different regions as well. And we trained our team to also be able to appreciate how they can also speak into the issues wherever they find themselves. We don't leave behind community that will be are most vulnerable and that resonate or are being affected mostly. So like I said earlier, we go for festivals, try to speak to traditional leaders. We were fortunate that year to have Rookie from 350 Africa visiting us and having a good feel of how a center would be, like, from traveling a distance to going to a discomfort zone to be able to make real-time impact. This is to achieve on our community entry, to understand that we are in the community, we are here to talk about renewable energy, and whenever you see us, know that we are here for a good cause. So in our campaign that year, we're saying go Ghana, go renewable. We created allies, especially at the national level when they were having the fourth renewable. We participated fully, had questions for our young people to strategically ask at the conference that can inform our strategy and help us in our campaign. So we can equally admit this in our work, and it will go a long way. Remember, we were still looking at the target of achieving the 10% renewable energy by 2030, which government has set for themselves to make those demands. So we also had a renewable energy campaign for tertiary universities, trying to make sure that, like, the academics are also talking about it and are showing interest in that regard. Why are we worrying ourselves so much about this? Find your country on this map and see why it's important for you to join us in this journey. In my case, 5% access to electricity. But as it stands, in a just energy transition plan for Ghana, we seek to achieve it by 2070. So how do we bring everybody in, making sure that no one is left behind, and even communities are benefiting equally? So that is how come we started our campaign and we are pushing for this. Then we have to look for solutions. So in our strategy, the solutions that we came up for to help in addressing our electricity issue was to form a coalition first, and also we made sure that we train ourselves about the nationally determined contributions and align categorically to what the NDC seeks and how it has to be achieved. So we are doing Program of Action 42. That is decentralizing solar bulbs to communities without light. So we are just not advocating, but we are also making impact, because that is what draws community to those green washers, and because they always have something to give them. So as advocates, if you resonate with this community, you realize that how communities have been in 20 decades without light, and it's total darkness, but we try to stay with them to have a feel of how it is. There is also something that we can push, renewable energy master plan, which is also something that we were always reading about to see the loops and see how we can connect the dots, the just energy transition, and also the plans that government has and the ministry also has. So as part of our strategy, we were campaigning with schools, renewable energy for schools, for women because they are most vulnerable, women in renewable energy, activism for RE, children below 14 years, using arts to showcase how they also understand renewable energy, energy club in universities, making sure that we get them to also help communities, and then solar for slum. Slum communities also have access and understand, because that is where we send all our waste materials, and it was a good place to start something. Thank you to our coalition, or thanks to our coalition, we're able to give 100% solar light to Bomi community in the Volta region. It's an island community, and don't be uh, it wasn't as beautiful as it looks after we started working towards the community after crossing the river. It wasn't easy getting into the community, but we have different organizations, about 15 organizations that were ready to go with us on this journey to real-time impact. It's important to connect with the community. You just don't speak for them at the national level or at forums or at conferences without touching base with them. I would want to encourage that as you are beginning or you are already on the journey of this campaign, it's important for you to touch with community and appreciate what it means. The citation they gave us, I want to read just one portion of it. It said, your support has brought clean, reliable solar lighting to 101 households, a lasting gift that has brightened our homes, improved our safety, supported learning, and uplifted our daily lives. Are you not touched by this? It's important for us to connect. In this Domangri community, where we thought we were going to fail or solve a big problem, we got into the community, met the chief, and realized there were over 2,000 households without light. And it was an eye-opener for us to see that the work we are doing, we need to push more and make more impact. Someone may say that, why don't you just do one panel for them to share? If you use simple solar bulbs, because government is also planning on their just energy transition plan to put them on the grid. This is a simple intervention that can go a long way to help them as they build resilience and also help them in their adaptation measures. So in this community, women are not allowed in programs, but we requested and pleaded with the chiefs and the men that women, we know men are the final decision makers, but this program is for the women because we realize they are most vulnerable and they are all mostly affected to climate change, and we want them to come and hear us, and we will make sure that we were keen on the local dialects as part of the communication tool that we used. And when we did that, we also encouraged or pleaded with the men that the women receive the bulbs on their behalf, because we realized that they are the ones that are going to use it. So you should have a strategy to communicate to communities. You just don't go in and say, no, 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 where are the women? No, please have the best interest and know you are going for a good cause, and together we achieve the same results. Now, thanks to Africa VUCA Day 2025, we came up with a tract on simple ways or reliable ways, or how you can have energy efficiency, solar, what is energy, clean cooking methods, and we trained our students to go into the community through the work they engage in the community to understand what renewable energy is, energy efficient. If you are not using the light in the hall, just put it off. Try to manage your electricity, and it will go a long way to help others to also have access to power. So it's still on the agenda for 100% renewable energy powered schools, and it helped us in our campaign because we need to get these young people to be part of the solutions we are talking about. Now, Old Fadama, which got a Norwegian to come together to see Old Fadama for heritage. We as young advocates just decided to choose a location whereby we send a lot of the waste materials when it comes to renewable energy and solar to those places. So we went to train them, and as part of our intervention, we created a solar kiosk for the community, and Old Fadama now have access to be able to at least charge their phones from time to time, and we're also trained on how they can also use solar panels and the use and how they can maintenance and all of that, and it has gone a long way to help them. as you continue your journey, you never know who is looking and who wants to partner. We got this great partnership along the line from a from a Ghanaian living abroad who was starting an NGO, Tribal Verse, and together in Easter, we picked one of the locations and we were able to do some donation on solar bulbs, clean cooking mechanism, clean cooking stoves and other things for the Apam community. It went a long way to help these women because we taught them and we were able to make the real-time impact. You have the resources. Recently, we had the National NGO CSOs Forum, and we're addressing how we can be able to solve the funding cuts, pulling resources from within. This is an international school. You know, these rich kids and their B levels and the opportunities they have. They reached out to us that they wanted to have a project with us. We identified the fishing community in Tema Newtown, and they were able to donate 100 solar bulbs for these women to help them, and we used that opportunity to teach them about global warming. We taught them about simple renewable energy, and it went a very long way to make at that level. Everything we are centered. The way out is full, and in doing so, don't forget the community. Who are the people that are connected to this, and how are they benefiting from it? So, I have a very interesting story to tell. Community-led renewable energy puts people at the center of a just energy transition. Instead of waiting for the top-down approach, government said they will do it, and they have this time, and then you're always sitting on TV and radio and talking about issues that you have not even resonated with. Have you visited that community? Do you understand how they live? And whether whatever that is being put out there is really working or not? It is important because it helps us to manage energy solution tailored down to the unique needs and resources. In Pong community, which is in the northern region of Ghana, there was a beautiful ceremony of a 20 megawatt solar powered community. We were all happy about it. After 2-3 years, as advocates, what did we do? We went into ownership of that. And one question after training, one woman asked us, we have about 3 communities next town, which is Boligatanga, across. But in Boliga, what happens is that the Boliga people, when they have lights out, we also have lights out. So is it still the renewable energy that we are on or not? And that was clear to us that their space have been used for the renewable energy 20 megawatts, yes, but it is not connected to the community. So energy access is key, climate action is key, it has to be ground up, and it also creates jobs and also helps in strong social bonds. Research, there was a research that was done with the kind intervention of 350 Africa, combining Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, how we have been using renewable energy and how effective it has been. So in climate advocacy, it is always important for you to train for it should be transboundary by learning from other countries' stories, because climate action is a global phenomenon. And I want to conclude by saying that team building is one of the best ways in addressing or becoming or making that change you seek to work on. You need coaching, you need to have a goal, you need collaboration, support, solution, skills, and training. You can't do this alone. So always work together as a team. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to be here.
Amazing, amazing. Portia, that was beautiful and very inspiring. I think everyone who's here is quite happy to hear the story of Jirok and at E4C and what you guys are doing in that space. So thank you so much for making time and showcasing that kind of amazing work, right? So yeah, so I think we want to give you some time to reflect. And I know it's been a lot of slides from slides to slides. So I want to take this time to bring you all to breakout rooms. So I will launch the breakout room, but what I need us to do in those spaces is to think about what's coming up for us right now. Like after the presentation, after the different presentation we've seen, what's coming up to us? What are we thinking about when we're looking at our own communities, our own teams, where we're from and stuff like that? So as we kudos to Portia, some of you will be lucky to have Portia in some of your breakout rooms, and I assure you will have a space to ask us some few questions as well, because we have 27 minutes left. I will open the rooms and request that you join them. And then in that space, just have someone who can either take summaries of what you guys are speaking on so they can come share back to us. So two things. Talk about what is coming up for you after this presentation. What are you thinking about now back home? Like from what you've seen, what are you thinking of in your teams? And what could help you move forward in the next couple of trainings that are coming? So I'll open up this space now. Welcome, guys. I know there's some of us who are here, so let me know if you're struggling to join a breakout room, and I can assign you.
Can you please assign me? I can't see which breakout room should I go to.
Hey, Bensina. Cool. Doing that in a few minutes. Before we end this. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, my colleague from Group 5 can share. Very
Thank
interesting.
you.
Okay, thank you, Mashila. It seems like you had a very good conversation. You're very excited. So who's on your team? Just 1 minute share, please. Hello. Yes.
Okay, so I'm from Mashilet group number 5. Okay, thank you. So I'm going first to present our group number 5, and we have discussed about different perspectives from different countries. There is one from Tanzania, Togo, South Africa. Yeah. So from us, the presentation from Portia was so interesting, and we have learned. And coming back to our community, the first presentation was from South Africa, and the one thing he said about the escrow issue, and what he said about we have to look on how to overcome corruptions, because we are going to to a transition to renewable energy, but there's the issue and the case of corruption, especially to the escrow issue. So, as stakeholders and activists and NGOs, we have to look on how to overcome these challenges. But also, we must have come to with in other innovative solutions. That be must more innovative solution to renewable energy. We all know that renewable energy is big and it have a lot of areas and angles. So we can't stick on only maybe solar or hydropower. We have to come with other innovative solutions so we can have like a positive impact and positive of overcoming in a short period of time. But also, uh, another person shared about the women issues and cases. We need more women to engage them in a solution, especially when we are talking about renewable energy issues. But also, we have to organize ourselves as community member. We NGO, we stakeholders, but being part of the community, we're also helping them, but we must be part of this community so that we can feel this and we can overcome these challenges together. But also, our friend from Togo, he shared about in his country, government allow them to speak about the solution, to share their ideas. But when you speak, government they took your ideas and they're going to implement themselves. But this is not good because the ideas and these solutions they're not going to be sustainable. So as we speak on this presentation, we also need to come with the ideas on how we can speak with our government, with these investors who are going to help us on implementing our ideas. We are the one who knows what to do. So we need us to be part of controlling and leading these renewable projects so that they can be sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ziada. That was powerful. And maybe just to give some insight to that, I think one very important thing we need to think about is this session is specifically around decentralized renewable energy. So you need to think about the energy you're speaking on. Can you decentralize it? Can it be affordable for everyone? Is it something that you can spread evenly across communities? Can you, because we've seen that there are issues with the main grid. Like you see countries like Ghana, like they're saying they had 95% close to renewable energy, but how are we maximizing our access, right? And that's something we need to think about. And that's why decentralized renewable energy is the next best thing, because we're looking about what are the types of safe, clean, renewable energy that can be used amongst our communities that can be easily broken down and spread out to build access in our communities. So think about that as well as we'll go through this training together. But thank you so much, Diada and Mashila's team. Francina?
Thank you so much, Rukia. I'm reporting for Team 1. And then on Team 1, we thank the coach for presenting, and with that we looked at stopping cutting of trees, and then in order to minimize that is to educate communities how to make briquettes. And then the other one, it was 2024 Africa VUCA Day at DRC, where they look at the ecological activities and look at the government policies and train people about renewable energy, people to understand what is solar panels, the importance of them, and also other renewable energy entities that can be used, that is sustainable and then also very cheap, that can benefit communities. And then also in order to stop the spillage of sewage, it was about the biogas, and in that way it will be reducing the smell, the spillage, and then community will be able to get energy, and also they could be able to light. And that one is for South Africa, where communities have been living there for 40 years, but they don't have any energy. And then also the solar lights to stop the people being raped, people being done many bad things of theft and all. And in that way, it will stop community from being in the dark, but also benefiting on the lights. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's for group 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francina. I love the element of safety that you brought across. That is quite crucial, I think. That's something that I think also Portia mentioned in the Bomingo space. I want to give a space also for guys from the Francophone region. I don't know, guys from the DRC, any groups that you're in, so that we can also hear different varied voices. Just giving a time to see who's here, we can speak to that. Crispin, were you in any group and would you like to share? Sorry to call upon you. I just want to make sure that we're covering all our bases.
Thank you, Rukia. Je pense que je suis Crispin Gakani, je suis de la République démocratique du Congo, la RDC. Donc, j'étais dans le premier groupe dont nous avons eu à discuter par rapport aux apports que Poche avait partagés sur les énergies renouvelables dans leur pays. Et nous avons eu à contribuer quand même sur notre succès dans la campagne Africa Vukade de l'année en 2024, qu'on a essayé un peu de l'idée d'organiser en RDC. Nous avons eu à travailler avec les communautés locales, le peuple aux alentours du parc, qui souffrent sincèrement de l'exploitation des énergies fossiles et qui l'utilisent sincèrement régulièrement dans leur ménage, dans leur vie quotidienne, tout ça. Ce que nous avons eu à faire quand même, c'était un succès pour nous parce qu'on a eu à faire ces sensibilisations pour essayer d'apporter quand même de briquettes écologiques pour la cuisson des énergies à cette communauté-là et essayer de sensibiliser, de libérer sincèrement quitter ces pratiques d'utilisation des énergies aussi dans l'air milieu. Voilà, c'était une campagne de sensibilisation et avec en interpellant aussi les autorités, le gouvernement provincial à valoriser quand même des énergies renouvelables au sein beaucoup plus des communautés locales qui souffrent beaucoup plus avec des énergies fossiles, d'utilisation, d'exploitation des énergies fossiles. Voilà, c'est un peu ça, c'est que j'ai eu à partager par rapport à notre contribution de la campagne Africa Vukade qu'on a pu réaliser et d'autres activités qu'on essaie un peu de faire ça à l'Est, surtout dans la partie Est de la République, de la RDC. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Christine. Thank you so much. Irene, I know Stella's next, but I want to put Irene as well to come in.
Thank you, Ruki. I thought somebody was going to translate for us what has just been reported. Anyhow.
Sorry, Irene. So there is translation available, interpretation, sorry. So at the bottom of the screen, you should have choose either English or French. Apologies if that wasn't clear earlier.
Okay, but let me go ahead with group 4.
Go ahead, yeah.
Right, in group 4, we had Sisi from Ghana and Joanna also from Ghana and Benjamin from South Africa and myself, Irene from Kenya. So basically how people found the presentation, it was very insightful and thought-provoking. And we were impressed by the team that they're consistent in their work and their drive to push for this agenda on renewable energy. And we were also grateful for the strategies that they shared with us on how to go about having an effective campaign. So what are our thoughts? Personal reflection, what we can do at home base, and Number one, we had a engagement at policy level so that we can increase inclusivity, especially amongst the young people, to engage with the national policy. And we have Sisi from Ghana who's already working on this. The second agenda was awareness creation. And both Benjamin from South Africa and Joanna were in agreement that we need more people to join this kind of training so that they can have more awareness. Like Benjamin, this is his first time and he's so excited being here and what he's learning already. And also that we engage more people in the renewable energy space. The third thing that we looked at was checking the current data on households and schools as far as power access is concerned, looking at what was already shared for 2019, the Africa map just showing the trace on where we are at. We're looking at what is the current data, and at local level, the villages, like now in my case here in Kenya, looking at the village where I'm working, and just to find out how many households have power, how many don't, and how many schools as well. And that can be a starting space in having a conversation on how to have renewable energy within the household and school space. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. That was beautiful. I love that there was some really cool summaries there. I know there's more hands and more people would like to speak, but sadly, we're already 3 minutes past, and we want to respect your time as much as we can. So I'll just want to try to wrap up for now. So I know we've heard from Portia, you've seen the kind of work that Africa Voca is doing from the earlier presentation. And like I said, this is a 6-part series. So a few things to just mention. So yes, one, if you are not yet registered, please add your group to the AV network. So this network is an open space. It's free and welcome to anyone who wants to join that space. We have different country groups in the Africa Voca network. We have a WhatsApp community with country groups. But through the WhatsApp community, you're able to see what's happening across board from different countries. You can interact with people from Ghana, Nigeria, etc., etc. So we can build that cross-continental, very Pan-African justice, climate justice around different pieces of work that we're doing and seeing who else is doing what we're doing and how can we support each other. Secondly, the materials and recordings will be shared by end of day. So mainly the recording, so you can be able to follow along. I know some of us were struggling with internet, so using that, going through it to just review, that would be really helpful. And then lastly, please encourage your teammates. As you see today, the session for today was around, how to do why community-led is a priority, but also how to build a core team. You've seen from the presentation from Ghana how they met at a training in Turkey and came together and tried to analyze different issues in their countries and how they can come together. So if you feel that there's a teammate that you work with who really needs to be part of this training, the registration link is still open. So please share that with them so they can join the next upcoming session. So the next session is going to be around research and how to look at gaps. We'll have some really cool experts who will be joining us. There'll be someone coming in from the University of Reading, who will be talking about how if you're looking at solar or wind, what is the technology you're looking at? What are the things to consider in terms of technology before you pick the renewable energy that works for you? So looking at how research can inspire or inform the energy you pick. That's one. We're also looking at someone who will talk about just the status of Africa and energy in Africa. Like, what are the different facts that are available that maybe we're not aware of? And then lastly, we'll hear from someone who'll talk about the different pieces of research that are looking at research and advocacy. How do you mix those two together? So I hope you'll be able to, come through for that session, and hope you also invite your teammate to join that space as well. And yeah, I think with that, I would like to just say, thank you and a ton of gratitude to you all for just this session specifically. You've been brilliant, you've been quite active and really supportive in sharing your ideas and collaborating. Like I said, visit us on africavoca.org. There's a lot of tools and resources there that you can refer to even before the next session, which is going to be on the 24th of July, just the Thursday in the next 2 weeks. And then also just follow us on social media. We're on Africa VUCA Network. We post on different pieces of work there. So yeah, hopefully this was quite helpful and as fruitful as it was to me be part of this. And yeah, I would like to close us off for now. And also I want to say thank you to my teammates, Lean, Lute, all present. At the same time, a big thank you to our interpreter, Kiki, who's been helping us navigate the different language differences in this space. And yeah, thank you to you as well for making time and, always wanting to be here and learn and be curious. And a big thank you to Portia Rumensa for sharing your work and helping us, inspire others to think as you are. So merci beaucoup to all of you and see you on the next session, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Lukia. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.